So, welcome back to Naked Onion between High Speed and and welcome back, Rupda. If you haven't listened or watching the last podcast with her, just do it. Jump on it and watch it and feel inspired. And now we are back for part 2. Hello, Rupda.
Hello, Tinka. Thank you for having me.
Oh, for everybody, they don't know me as a tinker.
Oh.
This is my
Okay.
undercover workshop.
Yeah, it's great. I love it.
So, do you have to cover something in your? Are you covering something in your life? Are you hiding something?
Am I hiding something in my life? Wow, that's quite a question.
Mm-hmm. The podcast is called Naked Onion.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Am I hiding something in my life? You know, I might have a tendency to, the expression downplay, where I exhaust myself sometimes from airport to airport, workshop to workshop, city to city, country to country, and continent to continent. Because, I sometimes, my commute is Australia to Europe, but then sometimes I would go to Africa and Brazil and America. So it was, and then I might hide sometimes the fact that I exhaust myself when I do this. And that I need more space and time. And interestingly enough, with COVID, that really created a bigger possibility to have that space and time. In fact, like I was saying to you before, it was like the whole planet could have an exhalation, where they just we can all slow down. And that has benefited me a lot. And I don't really talk a lot about that. And yeah,
now it's out.
Now it's out.
And what? Thank you for your honesty. And what are you doing? I mean, now we are in this lockdown. You can't travel. But what is your recommendation for other people? I mean, we are in Europe. We can start to travel again, but for sure it's gonna, different than before. But what is the best way to calm down for you, to fill up your resources? And, if you find yourself in this situation, what you were just talking about, jumping from one airport to another.
Yeah, exactly. And it has a particular pulse and rhythm and air. And we're going somewhere, an adventure. And, even though I've been doing it more than 20 years, but it still has an aliveness in it. And to find that in myself without it being outer focused, that I can also enjoy this. And, the first few weeks was like, wow, this is really different. And then, of course, I soaked it up like a sponge. And out of it birthed my own experience in the slowdown. I had been really yearning and longing for slowing down, and there it was. And then people were writing me a lot, and then I started creating that 21-day self-isolation challenge. And in that challenge, I was doing it too. I think I only put it on Instagram, but anyway, and each day was, offering something to yourself, nurturing and nourishing something towards yourself. And I like that you said we won't go back to the old paradigm. And I really hope that we don't go back to that overwhelmed, overstretched, overdone, like where we're so disconnected from ourselves that we can find as we start to enter the, world, and maybe with recognizing how important it was to slow down and to catch our breath. And it's something you and I, use in our work, and something we remind ourselves. And yet we can see when we go into corporations and even into a restaurant, and how people get so outside of themselves, and this slowing down. So anything we can do as a daily practice, even if it's only taking 5 breaths in the morning, or having gratitude in the evening, anything that we can do to connect to ourselves.
So let's breathe together. Oh, wow. I can feel it. Oh, This is my
But
daily practice as well. Ah, and I
yeah,
loved it. I really loved the last 4 months. Yeah, to
yeah, it's been
just to
4 months.
slow down and oh, mm.
You know,
And
what?
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
no, no,
I was going to say what I've been seeing is a lot of movements have been happening in the last few years, yeah, especially recently with the Black Lives Matter.
no.
And I never really reflected on it so much in myself
Mm,
as a woman of color, you know. And my partner asked me about it, and I said, oh, I don't really. And then all of a sudden, all these memories of that kind of, you know, experiences that I had, you know, nothing in comparison, but
mm,
of course. And then I say, oh yeah, it wasn't a big thing, you know. I
mm,
made it small, or I survived, yeah.
mm,
And then before that, I remember was this whole Me Too movement, and I remember thinking, yeah, I wasn't so affected. I just got out of it as a woman, young, growing up, and then I remember my partner asked me again, and then I remember, oh yeah, I had these things, you know. So I'm very taken back by this, what's happening, and um, because of it, I have to say, I got you that it's really touched something in me about being a woman of color. And I was sharing with you about Spirit of a Woman. And I don't really differentiate myself in that way. I don't really say I am this, you know. I don't have that recognition in that same way. But this Spirit of a Woman has been such a big healing for me because it's
mm.
really taking back what it means to be a woman. And one of the questions we ask in the retreat is, what does it mean to be a woman? And you sit the women, every woman has a different, you know, understanding of what it means to be a woman today, you know, and the challenges we face and what that, you know, brings up. And can I have a voice? And can I stand in my power? Do I have a right? You know, do I give myself a permission? You know, all this
Mm,
stuff. I'm really loving it, I have to say, because it's something I'm reflecting on, you know.
mm, mm. I know, and I'm very sad that it doesn't happen in Corfu this year, and it will happen in the virtual world, and this is going to be amazing. So for
Yeah.
everybody who doesn't know yet or haven't been in the part one, there is a Spirit of a Woman online workshop starting in September. You will find the information in the show notes. And the
Mm.
other one, what Rupda is doing is, it's really special as well. It's leadership training, right?
Yeah, yeah, the leadership training. And that was also something I'm very passionate about because it's taking the work that I've been doing over, you know, the last 15, 20 years. I mean, actually, I don't know if your listeners know, but I was raised in a community, a very conscious community. Can I talk about it, Katya? Is that safe or not?
For
You
sure.
say, 'cause
You
it's
can,
a hot
you,
topic, right?
no, you can talk about everything. It's called Naked Onion. Just
Okay,
peel
cool.
off your layers,
All
you
right,
know?
very cool. So I was, you know, I was a kid when I discovered meditation, and I fell in love with it. And
Mm,
I was living in London, and I was going to British school, and it was like, oh, how you doing? You know, British this, and yeah, 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 and streets of London, and really tough, and then I would go into this, you know, community of people who were just meditating or doing active meditations, which was movement and breath work and so on, a lot. Huh? And I completely fell in love with it. And I came back to my mother and I said, I want to do this. I want to be a part of this. And my mom was just like, and I said, I want to change my name. I want to do the whole initiation and just, you know, take the risk, you know, you're wearing all orange,
wow. How
everything, you
old have
know.
you been there?
Well, when the journey started, I was 7, you know,
Wow.
because she brought me to Tibetan Buddhism. Yeah.
Mm,
And when I was 9, the whole thing around Osho came. So I was like, wow,
mm,
this is for me, you know. So I was very fortunate because my mom really allowed me to,
mm,
you know, it was in the 70s, mid 70s. I'm now in my 50s. So she really allowed me to have that exploration. Of course, she was very present with me, but she let me have that. And, long story short, I mean, I had the whole experience. I went to India. I was on the ranch in the wild, wild country, as people know it from Netflix. I was there as a teenager, and then I, you know, in India with him, and it really did something to my. It was a different kind of education, you know. It
mm.
was just a different way of, you know, growing up in the world. You know, I didn't have the usual constructs of, you know, what men and many people had growing up. I had
Lucky
it
you.
abundant. Oh my God. Yeah,
Lucky
I loved
you.
it. I really loved
Oh
it.
my
I feel
God.
so grateful because the kids, quote unquote, that I grew up with, we all like very bonded because we knew what we had was very special. And even today, people are like, "Wow, you met Osho?" And I said, "Yeah, I met him. He was a great guy, you know."
Oh.
And but that for sure is part of the backdrop or the tapestry of what brought me in from childhood into adulthood into womanhood. And all of the philosophies in his work was on awareness and consciousness and waking up and meditation, you know, all of that mixed in with the philosophies that he you know, he read like thousands of books, you know, he was a speed reader. And so I had like a constant education every morning and every evening. I would sit with him. And that was part of, you know, and then of course I went out and got the conventional, you know, education from, you know, to become the counselor and do all this work with people. But, you know, NLP, great. I have, you know, I got the paper, but it didn't mean anything compared to that experience. But, you know, in order to open doors, I had to do that part.
And you can mix it up.
And I mixed it, yeah. And now I mix it up.
I just, yeah.
And it's right now is the time, is more than ever, where people are going, there's something more. And people are talking about consciousness and mindfulness and, you know, who are you truly outside of the roles that you play? Yeah, what is deeper happiness? What is a deeper sense of happiness other than having all the cars and the houses? They know now that's not it. Yeah, that you can still feel empty at the top of the hill, very much so. So to bring that into our way of leading and to work with people from that place, not from a deficient, compensated place, but from a place of groundedness and centeredness and presence, you know, and I have what it takes and I am enough. Oh, it's such a lovely way to work with people. And that's why I get so excited. See, here I go, I'm on. I
just thought you were like me, you know, I get a question and then I do.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I love it. So so that the leadership training, it's not about being a leader in a company, you know, like, you know, how do I lead the company, something like this, or a team. It's like, how do I lead myself? How am I the best leader for myself to guide myself through life, right?
Yeah, and I love that you said that, because it is about self-leading. And when we have a sense of how to do that, how I can be and support others in that role. And yes, people do come who came to the training previously from the corporate world, but also from the, excuse me, the non-corporate world, who want to know how to do it in schools or hospitals or with other women groups, or, you know, who with children and so on. So it's lovely that, you know, once we know how to work that leadership skill within ourselves, how to self-lead, we know how to also support another. If we cannot support ourselves, how can we support another? Yeah? For
sure. So it's self-leadership training.
Yeah. And it's called Tools for Life Leadership Training. And there is a strong aspect when you go on the site and you see the page, you see it's a lot also about how to bring it into the work environment, whatever work environment you work in. But we start here with ourselves, definitely.
So is it still running? Can people just still jump in this training, or is it finished for this year?
It's finished for this year, but next year it's going to be offered. It's going to be there'll be an online aspect to it because there's 4 levels, but and you'll read more about it on the website. But and then I roll it out. But there might be something I might be offering online this year, and it's what's hidden right now because I haven't talked about it before.
Okay.
Because people are asking me about it, and it's something I can probably offer a certain aspect about. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So stay tuned. Look at Rupda's website. Just look in the show notes, and you will know. So. I have to fill into if I have one last question for you.
Yes.
What is love?
That's a big question, huh? But I love it. There's probably
in 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
So there's probably many interpretations of it, and the
what
simplest
is love for you?
one and for me it's something, it's a felt sense, it's something I feel, it's feelable, it's something that a sensation in my body, and it's a beautiful, feeling of just like joy, bliss, happiness, truth, honesty. It's like a combination of a state of being, and feeling that, especially toward myself, is lovely. You feel it. It's like there's a bounce in your step, there's a lightness in your breath, there's this yes, exquisite ecstasy, that everything is in its rightful place, and I can relax in that, and I can trust that.
What are you doing to grow your self-love?
I shared with you that meditation has been one of probably the biggest tool for me. And it's, as I say in my workshops, it's been around for thousands of years. We're just finally catching on now. I caught on as a kid, and I have to say there's nothing like it. And then when we land in presence and we land in whatever it is we're going through in that moment, it just creates a deeper connection, not only with self, but also with planet Earth, just feeling part of the whole of mankind, not in the pain of separation.
Amazing. So yeah, meditation, I can totally feel it. It's resonating. I just announced my mindful workshop in November. It's not an online workshop, it's close to Munich, and I called it the alchemy of the present moment.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, I love it. I just love it. I love the alchemy, because it's, it's like, it's already vibrating, radiant, and wow, yeah, I'm so happy. So
it's beautiful. In English or in German?
No, in German. I mean, we can be silent in English. No, it's in German. I was thinking about to start workshops in English next year, but yeah, we'll see. But now it's in German.
Okay.
Yeah.
We also do something together, you and I.
Me? And you?
You and I, we do the deep dive together.
Yes, but it's still deep dive. I think we call it,
Yeah, it's still the deep dive process. Yeah. And that's something that, if your listeners end up getting curious about it, they can write you about it.
Thank you for reminding this.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen in September. No, it's not happening. Oh, we'll see.
It's happening in November, but stay tuned, because it's a powerful process, strong,
amazing process
for everyone. But yeah. Oh,
amazing.
I don't know if you can hear the background noise, but it sounds like the neighbor's putting on the blender. I'm sorry in advance to everyone listening.
You get some dinner.
To make a smoothie.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would love to talk with you longer and longer and longer and longer. Maybe we do a part 3 or 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. Maybe just own podcast. We'll see. And thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your presence and for sharing, being naked, telling or showing us yourself, and hopefully to see you very soon in real life, not only virtual. And till then, we are connected here, and meet you in the workshop, meet you in another Zoom. And is there something what you want to tell the listeners, at least, the closing sentence? It's
closing
yours.
sentence. Whatever it is you're going through right now in this very moment, whatever it is you're facing, imagine as if you could talk to yourself as though someone you love, in a gentle, kind way. Be gentle with yourself. Your life is too short to be hard on yourself.
Wow.
Thank you, Beauty.
Thank you.
Take care.